Welcome back to Beyond World is One. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Hem Kaur Saroya and here's what we've lined up for you on Speed News today. Elon Musk has escalated his feud with Donald Trump by backing a call for Trump's impeachment and supporting J.D. Vance as his replacement. Musk responded with a simple yes to a post by a user on X. Elon Musk's call for impeachment marks a significant step further in their feud, which has been intensifying over the past few days. Musk criticized Trump's policies while Trump has threatened to cut Musk's company's government contracts. Billionaire Elon Musk said that his rocket company, SpaceX, will not decommission its Dragon spacecraft, just hours after stating that the company would begin decommissioning amid his escalating feud with US President Donald Trump. The disagreement rooted in Musk's criticism of Trump's tax cut and spending legislation that began last week quickly spiraled out of control. Trump lashed out at Musk when the president spoke in the Oval Office. Then, in a series of X posts, Musk launched barbs at Trump, who threatened to terminate government contracts with Musk's companies. Taking the threat seriously, Musk said that he would begin decommissioning SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft used by NASA. Under a roughly $5 billion contract, the spacecraft has been the agency's only U.S. vessel capable of carrying astronauts to and from the International Space Station, making Musk's company a critical element of the U.S. space program. In a significant setback for US President Donald Trump, a US judge ordered a block on his latest effort to ban foreign students from attending Harvard University, citing potential irreparable harm to the institution. The court's decision comes after Harvard filed an amended lawsuit building on an existing legal challenge against the Trump administration's attempts to limit foreign student enrollment. Harvard called Trump's 6-month ban on foreign students an illegal retaliation for the university's rejection of White House demands, which included change in its disciplinary practices, ending diversity, equity and inclusion programs, and commissioning an external audit of some academic departments. Russia mounted an intense missile and drone attack on Ukrainian capital overnight, Ukrainian officials said, as powerful explosions reverberated across the city. According to the mayor of Kyiv, 4 people were killed, 20 injured after a Russian attack on the capital. Vitaly Klitschko said search and rescue operations were underway at several locations. The attack followed a warning from Russian President Vladimir Putin, conveyed via US leader Donald Trump, that the Kremlin would hit back after Ukrainian drones destroyed several strategic bomber aircraft attacks deep inside Russia. Massive explosions rocked Beirut's southern suburbs on Thursday night after the Israeli army launched airstrikes targeting Hezbollah sites. The Israeli military had warned residents of 4 neighborhoods to evacuate ahead of the strikes, which were aimed at underground drone manufacturing sites. Muslim pilgrims converged at Mina Valley near Mecca to perform the last major ritual of Hajj pilgrimage of stoning the devil. The ritual, which involves throwing stones at 3 concrete pillars representing Satan, commemorates the Prophet Abraham's rejection of Satan's temptations to disobey God's command to sacrifice his son. The event is a key milestone in the Hajj pilgrimage, a journey of spiritual growth and devotion for Muslims from around the world.
الله الله أكبر. عند فلان.
Thousands of Muslim worshippers gathered at Jerusalem's revered Al-Aqsa Mosque to observe the Eid al-Adha holiday, a significant occasion in the Islamic calendar. Eid al-Adha commemorations, it commemorates the willingness, as I mentioned earlier, of Prophet Abraham to sacrifice his son on God's command. According to Islamic tradition, Abraham's devotion was tested by God. The United Nations held a memorial service at its New York headquarters to honor 168 personnel who lost their lives in the line of duty in 2024, with 126 deaths occurring in Gaza. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for accountability for the deaths, particularly of UNRWA staff members, and emphasized that the killing of humanitarian workers and civilians should not become the norm. Guterres highlighted the dedication of the fallen personnel, describing their work as a calling to serve humanity, and urged continued commitment to the international cooperation and multilateralism. The man accused of yelling "Free Palestine" and throwing Molotov cocktails on a demonstration has been charged with 118 criminal counts, including attempted murder and other offences. Mohammed Salman, who has been held on a $10 million bond since being taken into custody following Sunday's attack, faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if he is found guilty of federal hate crime charges against him. Salman's attorney has waived a formal reading of the charges on Thursday in Colorado court, and a preliminary hearing has been set for the 15th of July. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung marked a significant moment by attending the country's 70th Memorial Day ceremony, his first such event since taking office. In his speech, he emphasized the importance of honoring veterans' sacrifices. He pledged to build a peaceful nation and provide stronger support for veterans and their families, ensuring his administration fulfills its responsibilities. China launched a new group of low Earth orbit satellites from the Taiyuan Satellite Launch Center in Shanxi Province, marking the 580th mission of the Long March series carrier rockets. The satellites, which were part of an internet constellation, were successfully deployed into the present orbit aboard a Long March 6A rocket. This launch is the fourth of its kind of the constellation. In Colombia, a group of inmates from medium and high security prisons gathered in a park in central Bogota, sprucing up the surroundings as part of their community service. The 60 inmates are part of a program that aims to get them to give back to society while working to reduce their sentences. The initiative, part of national effort, involves around 1,500 inmates across 120 cities. Prisoners involved in the program said that they were grateful for the opportunity and a second chance. Guatemalan authorities have ordered preventative evacuations in communities near the Fuego volcano after its recent eruption, which spewed ash and lava. Over 500 people have been evacuated and relocated to shelter in nearby towns. The Guatemalan authorities have declared an orange alert and are closely monitoring the situation as well, with the National Coordinator for Disaster Reduction activating shelters for displaced families. Local authorities have established large shelters to accommodate nearly 900 families evacuated from the danger zones. The Reserve Bank of India today cut the benchmark repo rate by 50 basis points. Markets were widely expecting a 25 basis point cut. The RBI's latest move brings down rates to 5.5%, marking the third consecutive rate cut. The central bank also shifted its policy stance from neutral to accommodative, signaling a continued focus on boosting economic growth amid persistent global and domestic headwinds. RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra highlighted this decision was aimed at supporting demand recovery, especially as India navigates through the ongoing trade uncertainties. He further revised inflation estimates from 4% to 3.7%. On macroeconomic front, the RBI kept its GDP growth projection for financial year 2026 unchanged at 6.5%, maintaining confidence in India's medium-term growth trajectory despite near-term volatility. The dollar was headed for a weekly loss, undermined by signs of fragility in the US economy and as trade negotiations between Washington and its trading partners made little progress despite a looming deadline. Key for markets will be the US non-farm payrolls report later today. That will draw greater scrutiny after a slew of weaker than expected economic data. This week underscored the headwinds from President Donald Trump's tariffs. Currencies were taken on a round trip overnight, with most surging against the dollar, initially on optimism that Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping spoke in a more than 1 hour call before paring some of the gains. Oil prices slipped in early trade but were on track for their first weekly gain in 3 weeks after US President Donald Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping resumed trade talks, raising hopes for growth and stronger demand in the world's two largest economies. Brent crude futures fell 0.3% to $65.15 a barrel. US oil traded near $63 a barrel. The oil market continued to swing with news on tariff negotiations and data showing how trade uncertainty and the impact of the US levies are flowing through into the global economy. Top exporter Saudi Arabia cut its July crude prices for Asia to near 2-month lows. That was a smaller price reduction than expected after OPEC Plus agreed to ramp up the output by 411,000 barrels a day in July. Tesla shares went into free fall as Donald Trump publicly feuded with electric vehicle makers billionaire CEO Elon Musk. Investors watched the unfolding drama with growing worry about what that could mean for the Musk business empire. The car maker's shares ended the day down 14%, wiping off $150 billion in market value. Traders dumped Tesla in heavy trading after Musk quickly responded to Trump's criticism with social media posts that stepped up criticism of President's tax bill. Trump fired back further, alleging Musk was upset because the bill takes away the tax benefits for electric vehicle purchases. Police in the Indian city Bengaluru have held 3 people in connection with the deadly stampede that killed 11 during RCB's title celebrations. A senior marketing official has been taken into custody by Bengaluru police. Also in custody are Kiran and Sumant, who are the staff members of DNA Entertainment Network, the company that was managing the event. Around 250,000 people had gathered outside the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium to celebrate the RCB's maiden IPL title. Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial continues, with another former girlfriend who identified as Jane testifying about alleged abuse. Jane's testimony detailed drug-fueled freak-offs with male sex workers orchestrated by Combs. She stated that she repeatedly expressed willingness for these encounters but felt obligated due to Combs' control, including paying her rent. The court heard the victim's emotional account, which closely mirrored earlier testimony from the R&B singer Cassie Ventura. Both women have described being pressured into such freak-off encounters, which were allegedly watched and filmed by Combs. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.